Hey, gang, and welcome to yet another edition of Everybody Wants England. I'm only going to be talking about a couple of movies tonight. I was unfortunately not able to find a copy of Black Swarm to watch. So I am simply going to be talking about Heartstopper and Jack Brooks' Monsterslayer. Hey, Blissful, I like the new profile pic, I guess I should say. That's pretty cool. And I apologize wholeheartedly for not having Stephen's Kingdom last night. Work has been rough, to say the least. And I hope to be able to finish up Stephen's Kingdom this next Monday. And I hope that you guys and gals will join me for that. Got something on my screen there. But I just wanted to remind you of the things that I've got coming up for the rest of the week. So we have another Apples and Oranges tomorrow night starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be talking about the controversy surrounding Kane Hodder not being offered the part of Jason Voorhees in Freddy versus Jason. So I hope you will join me for that. That will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night. July 4th, which is Thursday. Normally, I would do either a shot on video stream or a Seductive Poison the Resurgence and do a triple threat review show. However, because it is 4th of July, I'm going to be talking about some explosive horror films to celebrate your 4th of July. So be sure to tune in to that. Also at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Sorry, I got candy in my mouth. So Friday will be a double dose of me. The second time I will be joined by Candace. But before Friday Foolish at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, there will be Terror Time Tea. I already have my movies picked out for Terror Time Tea. And those movies are going to be Slaughterhouse and Witch Trap. Hey, Batman. So Friday also for Friday Foolish, me and Candace will be talking about some of our favorite summer-based movies, and these aren't going to be all horror. Some of them might be horror, but we're going to mix it up a little bit and cover a lot of different genres, okay? So, without further ado, well, I do want to mention the watch-alongs this weekend will be to celebrate the 40th anniversary of A Nightmare on Elm Street. So Saturday's watch along starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time will be the original A Nightmare on Elm Street, no remakes. This will be the 1984 Wes Craven classic starring Robert Englund. Sunday's watch along, also starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, will be Wes Craven's New Nightmare and I'm going to try to get a cake and I'm going to try to decorate it a Freddy style in honor of the 40th anniversary of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay. No movie munchies. As I've told people, I'm taking a few months off from the movie munchies just to allow me to have time to recharge, relax, recharge, and hopefully come back a little bit better than I was. It'll be epic, blissful. I hope so. I hope so. So, sadly, I do not. Oh, right, Batman. You say happy early Return of the Living Dead Day. Exactly. You are exactly right on that. So, I apologize. I do not have any physical copies to show of these movies. I do not own them. However, both are available for free on YouTube. So if you hear me talk about them tonight and you want to check those out, if you haven't seen them before, YouTube's the place to go. So we'll just get started with Heartstopper, which I enjoyed this one. This one was a pretty cool little serial killer comes back from the dead after he's executed and gets his revenge, kind of, sort of, right? So we've seen several movies that are like this. For instance, Shocker was similar to this. Um, the Horror Show, I believe, was also similar to this, if I'm remembering correctly. That's the basic story of this movie. Not any real complicated storylines to get in the way of the plot, as Joe Bob would say. But I really did like Robert Englund's character of a Sheriff Berger, I believe. He was the sheriff of this town. He was there for the execution of this serial killer. And on the way to the hospital, the sheriff accidentally hits this teenage girl. And we saw earlier in the film that this teenage girl was being ridiculed and bullied, and she was thinking of taking her own life. So, what she does is she bends down in the road with her back to oncoming cars and gets hit. So, therefore, she ends up in the hospital. The pathologist is going to do an autopsy on the serial killer, and um, there's a little bit of transference of tattoos that happens from the serial killer to the young girl or young woman, and craziness ensues. This is a very bloody and gory film. I ain't even gonna lie to you. So if you like your blood and gore splashing all over the screen, then you're going to find it with Heartstopper. And this guy does indeed stop hearts. He jerks out several hearts, including Robert Englund's at one time. Sorry, Robert Englund's only in here for the first 20-25 minutes of this film. Don't want to spoil it for you, but I also don't want you to be disappointed when he's not in there after about the 25-minute mark. So, a decent little horror film. I enjoyed it. Um, I've seen better, but I've also seen much worse. And I'm going to go ahead and give this one a rating. I'm going to go ahead. I would say it would be somewhere between a 3.5 and a 4 out of 5 deadites. Yeah, this is a worthy watch. I would, not go out and buy it, but definitely if you want to watch it for free and watch it on YouTube, then that would be your best bet. And that is Heartstopper. I don't know how this one kind of slipped under my radar because for the most part, it seemed right up my alley. Okay. So the second one I want to talk about tonight is Jack Brooks' Monsterslayer. And this is one I remember hearing about, but for some reason I never tried watching it. Perhaps I thought maybe it would be too goofy. And it is a little goofy. We have Robert Englund playing Professor Crowley, and he is in the majority of the movie because he gets possessed by what appears to be some kind of monster. Um, we start out learning about Jack Brooks, and when he was a kid, his parents and his sister were attacked and killed by a monster or what appeared to be some kind of like uh, cannibal native or something like that. So he's in high school, or he's either in high school or college. Thank you, Blissful. Blissful says, please hit the thumbs up. Thank you. He's either in college or high school. I at first thought it was high school. And he's a plumber because I guess he has to support himself. And he's going to see the school counselor because he has anger issues. And why he has anger issues, I would imagine it has to do with the death of his family. So, Professor Crowley, I'm guessing if he's Professor Crowley, this has got to be college. So, Professor Crowley, played by Robert Englund, is kind of this goofy professor that people think is kind of cool, right? So, he unearths something in his yard and he finds a heart that starts beating. And it sort of reminds me of Jason Goes to Hell, only he doesn't eat the heart, it goes inside his mouth and possesses him. And so towards the end of the movie, Robert Englund's character, Professor Crowley, is turned into this bloated head monster that Jack has to fight to save his girlfriend and save some of his other classmates. Some of the classmates get turned into, they seem to be like zombie like creatures. I had a lot of fun with this one. This one was a very good, fun watch. I liked the creatures in it. Um, I loved Robert Englund in it. Robert Englund, although he wasn't the title character of the movie, that was Jack Brooks. Um, I loved seeing him in almost all of this movie. Uh, it was a departure from some of Robert Englund's more well known roles. He got to be goofy, he got to have these appendages coming out of him once he gets possessed. And word of warning though, if you get sick real easily, if you see somebody throw up on screen or something like that, you might not want to be eating while you're watching this, right? So, um, again, not a lot of story to get in the way of the plot. Both of these movies were, one was an hour 25, one was an hour 20. This one was an hour 20. So neither one of them were long, won't take up too much of your time. They move quickly, and both of them, for the most part, are a lot of fun for me. Maybe Jack Brooks' Monsterslayer was probably a little bit more fun than Heartstopper, and I'm going to give Jack Brooks' Monsterslayer a good solid 4 out of 5 deadites. Um, Again, you can watch this on YouTube as well as Heartstopper. Um, I know this wasn't a very long one. I was hoping that I could have Chris on here. Chris has been busy today, so he was not able to join me. Um, sometimes you got to have adult responsibilities, and those take precedent over doing things like live stream. So maybe tomorrow night I will get to have Chris on for the apples and oranges. But if not, I'll be here um, talking to you about the controversy surrounding the absence of Kane Hodder being in Freddy versus Jason. So I want to thank Blissful and Batman for being in here, keeping the chat active. I did notice there were a few other people that were watching. I don't like to say lurking because I think that has bad connotations, but I want to thank everybody that was in here tonight. Thank you, Blissful. I know they're short ones, but I tend to ramble if I'm on here by myself and I try to keep talking about this stuff. So I try to keep these short and sweet and to the point when it's just me on here, but relax listening. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully that's what people can do. Hopefully my voice is not too annoying. But I am going to get off of here for the night, but I want to thank everybody for stopping by and also to thank people who will watch this on the replay. I'm off like a dirty shirt, and I want to remind everybody to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a great night, folks, and let's make Wednesday fantastic. Yes, and as Batman says, don't forget to send more paramedics tomorrow. So, y'all have a great night and a fantastic Wednesday. See you next time.